notable guitar players that I think everybody needs to listen to in their kind of blues discovery. One guy, his name is Hubert Sumlin, who played with Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters and just about everybody, and came up with some incredibly original riffs.
Howlin' Wolf, Willie Dixon, and other blues migrators from Mississippi were just getting started in Chicago when Muddy Waters recorded his first success, I Can't Be Satisfied.
Yes, I'm going away to leave. Won't be back no more. Going back down south side. Don't you wanna go? Woman,
This explains why Chicago blues is influenced to a large extent by the Mississippi blues style, because many performers had migrated from the Mississippi region. Which brings us to the 60s, Joe.
The late 50s, early 60s, where the British started getting involved. Guys like Long John Baldry and Alexis Corner, and a guy named John Mayall, who discovered a little-known talent at the time named Eric Clapton, who came out of a band called the Yardbirds.
During his 18-month tenure with the Yardbirds, he earned his nickname Slowhand and recorded his first albums, 5 Live Yardbirds and Sonny Boy Williamson and the Yardbirds. In April 1965, John Mayall invited Eric to join his band, John Mayall's Blues Breakers. With this group, Clapton established his reputation as a guitarist and earned his second nickname, God. It was during this time that the now classic Blues Breakers with Eric Clapton was recorded. While with the Blues Breakers, he also recorded a one-off 4-track session with the band dubbed the Powerhouse. This studio band included John Paul Jones, Steve Winwood, and Jack Bruce. Next up was Cream.
We move like the sea. You're all I want to know. I feel free.
Then the first supergroup, Blind Faith. Don't forget Derek and the Dominoes.
It's too late, yeah. My baby's gone.
And of course, the legendary solo career we are all familiar with today. No doubt one of the most impressive performers in the history of music. And Joe, how about you? How'd Clapton influence Joe Bonamassa?
He was the first guy I really listened to really plug into an amplifier, make the sound a little bit distorted, and come up with these really killer blues and rock hybrid styles. And particularly on a record called the Beano record, which he did with John Mayall and the Blues Breakers, and his work with Cream, the Gibson and the Marshall stack, and this big, powerful, crunchy sound, all in the context of the blues, was very powerful in my life and very, very much influences everything that I do today. So here's a little demonstration of his interpretation of Robert Johnson's Crossroads, which is a song that he made famous with Cream.
Nice, Joe. I bet Eric will like that when he sees it. After talking with you today, one has to acknowledge how much the blues and the evolution of electric guitars has influenced today's modern rock music. From the Foo Fighters to Zeppelin, to Stevie Ray Vaughan to Jeff Beck, modern rock was born from the blues. Right, Joe?
Jeff Beck, one of the guys in the trilogy of great British blues guitar players in the late 1960s. Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck, and Eric Clapton. Jeff Beck being one of them that was able to take the blues in such a very much in a rock direction, and he would start off playing stuff that I'd never heard before I discovered Jeff Beck, and if you were around in the 60s, you probably never heard it before either. So here's a little demonstration of that kind of his period of playing during that time.
Jeff Beck grew up in Wallington, England, inspired by his mother's piano playing and the family's radio tuned to everything from dance to classical. In 1965, Beck was working as a session player with Screaming Lord Sutch before he replaced Eric Clapton as the Yardbirds' lead guitarist. Beck left the band in '67 and formed the Jeff Beck Group. Beck's varied career has touched into blues and jazz, but has always been rooted in rock. And after numerous hit singles and multiple projects and albums, Beck is still touring and playing hard, the only way he knows how. So who's next, Joe? Who's our final tribute on the origin of the blues?
Finally, I'd like to talk about a guitar player named Paul Kossoff, who was in a band called Free. You may have heard the song All Right Now on classic rock radio, and that's the band Free.
Yeah, she's still in the street, smiling from her head to her feet. I said, hey, what is this? Oh, baby, maybe she's in need of a gift. I said, hey, what's your name, baby? Maybe we can sing it the same. Now don't you wait, or hesitate. Let's move before the rain upon you. All right now.
But in context of the blues, his blues playing and his feel were second to none in my opinion, and over the years I've grown to really love the man's playing much more than maybe some of my other influences that I've had, just because of that vibrato and that just sense to the connection of the guitar to the amp and to yourself and into your soul. And here's a little demonstration of how Paul played.
Kossoff started playing guitar in the mid-'60s and became a professional at age 15 when he was a founding member of Black Cat Bones. The band did many supporting shows for Fleetwood Mac and other gigs with Peter Green. In April of '68, Kossoff and Black Cat's drummer Simon Kirke teamed up with Paul Rodgers and Andy Frazier to form Free. Success came in 1970 when their third album, Fire and Water, spawned the massive hit, All Right Now. The band was on and off until '72, when Rodgers and Kirke left to form Bad Company, while Kossoff released a solo album, Backstreet Crawler. Later, Kossoff started a band with the same name, and Backstreet Crawler released 2 albums, The Band Plays On in '75 and Second Street in '76. A little-known fact about Paul Kossoff. In 1969, he gave Eric Clapton a private lesson on his vibrato technique.
And then after that, you get people like Peter Green and Fleetwood Mac.
someone's hand to lead me through the night.
And the great Led Zeppelin, which then basically was the spark that lit the match for hard rock and heavy metal and a lot of the music that you hear today. So as you can see, in a 100-year period, that the music that you listen to on the radio right now can directly be traced back like a family tree to those original field hollers in the south of the United States of America. Basically, that's the family tree of the blues, and give or take, you can mention 1,000,000 artists, but at the end of the day, that's basically, for me, how it all started. Hope you enjoyed our demonstration today. It's a never-ending search for the perfect guitar solo, the perfect sound, and blues is what you make of it. You know, everybody's got their taste. So I hope you enjoyed today as much as I did. Thank you very much. Joe Bonamassa, signing off for now.